Hello, my name is Gerald and welcome to this module 2 of this course, Hydrometallurgical Process Simulation for Battery Metals using CADSIM Plus. In this module, we are now going into the actual simulation using CADSIM Plus. In the areas we are going to be covering include setting up a flow sheet, which includes streams, the unit operations, as well as the connections. Then we are going to create and define, as well as edit different compounds. We are going to be looking at reactions, setting up reactions, as well as defining reaction extents, as well as heats of reaction. Then we'll be running the simulation. So the process we are focusing on in this course is the lithium carbonate process from spodumene or petalite concentrates, and it follows this flow sheet with different unit operations. And in this course we'll be covering all these unit operations, but for this module we'll be looking specifically at acid roasting and water leaching. So the process flow sheet will be looking more like this. This is what we're going to build in CADSIM Plus, where we have calcined or sulphuric acid going into a mixer. From the mixer it goes to a kiln where the reactions occur. Then you have your acid roast product, you have your kiln off gas, and then you have your leach tank, process water, recycle streams, your leaching process occurs, then you have the leach product. So this is basically what we're going to build in CADSIM Plus. And the technical data we have available is this, with the chemical compositions as well as different conditions for acid roasting, the reactions, extents, the heat of reaction, as well as for water leaching, the conditions, as well as the different reactions in the extents. So this is where we'll be extracting the data from, inputting into our CADSIM Plus model. So now we are going into CADSIM Plus. So basically this is our CADSIM Plus interface. I'm sure by now you're familiar how you can maneuver within the CADSIM Plus interface. So the first thing I'm going to do is to insert a border. So I'm going to go here, insert, and go to border. Right, there are different types of borders which you can also preview. The A0, the A1, A2, A3, all the way to the F border. But for this simulation I'm going to choose the A3. Click on A3 and click on insert. Here I click OK. Right, so this is our workspace, and also from the previous video, I'm sure by now you know the basics of how we can maneuver, including the zoom in, zoom out, how to move your workspace, and all of that. So how we are going to build our flow sheet, we're going to start with the mixer. Let me open again where we have our flow sheet, right, this. So we are going to start with the mixer. We are going to put the mixer, we're going to put the input streams, we're going to put the output stream, right? Then we are going to run the simulation of that part. So we are going to be running the simulation, then continue to build as we go. Once we finish the mixer, we go to the kiln, we put the different output streams, the reactions, we run the simulation, then we add the leaching tank at the end. So for now we're going to start with the mixer. So here, so for the mixer I go to the parts stream with the parts. So to insert a part you can either come here, insert, and you see here there's a part, then you get this interface, or it's a shortcut where you go here direct with insert part, click on insert part, you also get the same interface. So for the parts, if I come here, there is a working directory which shows the different directories from which I can get my parts. Here I have the process. If I click on the process, I have these different parts that come out. connect in, connect out with controllers, coolers, which you can see on the preview, flash tanks, heaters, meters. If I go to the you have the non-process, also different parts. So you have different directories. You have the miscellaneous, you have the steam, under the steam and power, you have the pulp and paper, you have the hydrocarbon. So to get a mixer, I have to go to the miscellaneous, right? But before that, in the flow sheet, the interface flow sheet, I have to click where I want my mixer to be. Like in this case, I want my mixer to be here, right? So I'm simply left clicking, continuous left clicking until this cursor comes here. If I go here, click left click, it follows. So I want it here, right? Then I go to the insert part, and I go to the miscellaneous. So already on miscellaneous, but I'm going to show you again now. Click here, and you choose miscellaneous. You come here, you see there's your mixer. I'm going to click on insert, right? So on this, you can now then play with your mixer how you want it to be. Do you want to rotate it, you know, right? So you want it like this, or you want it to be a horizontal mirror, or you want it to be a vertical mirror, right? You can play around with all those, including the scale. If I want it, let's say, to be 0.5, it goes more, but for now I'm going to keep it at 1, right? Then I'm going to click OK. Then it's going to ask me to input the part name. What do I want to call this? Okay, let's call it acid mixer, right? And I click OK. So now you see I have acid mixer, right? So after the mixer, already we have these streams, the one input stream, we have one output stream, right? So before we go to putting streams and everything, I want to show you, if you come here, help, right? Click on help, then you go here where it's written index, then you type in any unit operation you want to input or you have, right? We have input, on our flow sheet we have a mixer. I have typed mixer, right? Then mixer comes up, I double click here. So here is the general description of what the mixer is, what it will do in your model. Like for example, a mixer combines different inlets into one outlet, performing perfect mixing within its volume. Right? So it's different. Then you have different keywords which you can use with your mixer. So this is the module description. Then under, you see here you have the module parameters, right? So the module parameters, if I double click on the module parameters, it shows me what needs to be there for the mixer to behave as a mixer. So your unit name is supposed to be mixer. Number of streams, inlet, you can have as many as you want, but it will only have one outlet. And then you have the required number of inlet stream names, telling you there's none. Required outlet stream names, there's none. Then you have different unit keywords which you can use if you want your mixer to be to do what the keyword is saying, like accumulate, like bread, like age. You have to use those keywords, but for now we are not using any keywords. I just wanted to show you, if you are not sure about what a part can do, or if you are looking for, if you want a part to do something but you're not finding that specific part in the parts library, you can create your own, and then you can come and check what the module parameters are, what is the required parameter for that part to behave the way you want it to, right? So let's go back to the model. Here we have acid mixer with, so already we have this one input stream, so I'm going to extend this line. I'm going to click at the end, on its end, then extend it here. Right, I can also do the same for this one. Right, let's leave it here. Right, so I need another stream. I'm going to left click this part so that my cursor comes here. Then I come this part here, draw process line. Click here. Right, and now I have a line from here, so I want my line to come there. I click here, go down onto the mixer. Right, I click the escape key. Right. So now I have two streams. Remember, on that flow sheet we had one for calcined ore, we had one for concentrated sulfuric acid, right? Then we had one outlet. So now I want to name my streams. So to name my streams, here you can see there's the non-processed text. So I want to use the non-processed text to name my streams. You have different types of, okay, you have processed text and then you have non-processed text. Okay, if I click here, process text, I want to name this one the calcined. Let's say this is the concentrated H2SO4. Click OK, and I do the same with this one. I want this to be the calcined ore. Okay, right. If I click on the text, right, I'm going to move it. Okay, I just want it to be right here. I'm going to do the same. This one, I'm going to move it here. Right. So now we have our two inlet streams. We have our acid mixer, then our outlet stream. So for now, let's save this file. Let me go to save as. Right. I'm going to name it. Let's call it module 2. And then we say acid roast and water leach. Acid roast. Okay, acid roast. Water leach. Then save. Right. So the next part we are going to do is to go to, we want now to create components. The components we are going to be using for this simulation. Right. So to create a components, you come to this icon, which looks like it's a volumetric flask, conical flask. It says create stream chemistry. Right, if I click on this one, it's going to say stream definition is required for process number 0. Then I say create. Right, so I'm going to get this stream chemistry wizard. Right, the first part is for the units, where you can choose the units you want to work with in your simulation. Right, in our case, for the mass, we want to use tons. So I click on the drop down menu, I select tons. Right, for the length, keep meters, volume, cubic meters, the temperature, we want degrees Celsius, pressure, energy, power, this one's okay. And for the time, we want hours, because we want our mass flow rate and our volumetric flow rate to be per hour. So we select per hour. The density, we're going to select tons per cubic meter. Then the volumetric flow rate, we're going to select the cubic meters per hour. Right, this one is okay. Then I click next page. Right, next page here is going to show me the stream type. If you chemical, food, dairy processing, mineral, paper, wood, and then you have the activities, the equations which you can use, basically your thermodynamic models which you can use. So here we're going to leave it at chemical. Right, then create next page. Right, this is where all the work is on the components part. So you have the liquid, the gas, the solid, aqueous, inorganic, organic. Then if you click on this arrow under the liquid, you're going to have different components that are within the liquid bracket. Right, so for every component you want, or every component you're going to choose, for example, water. Right, our model is water. So if I click on water, then if I click on this arrow, the water is going to move to this other side, which means I have selected it. It is now available in my model. Right, if I want to remove it, procedure the same. Click on it, then you click the arrow that goes to the left, or you can just double click the component you want, and already it will be on the selected components. Right, so for the components we're going to choose for our model, if you check on the technical data, this is what is contained in our model, where we have the different oxides: lithium oxide, silica, aluminum oxide, iron oxide, sodium oxide, potassium oxide, calcium oxide, and magnesium oxide, and they are all in the solid form. Right, so we now need to select these. These are parts of the calcined ore. So we now need to select these components and then input them into our model. Right. So since they are solids, I'm going to close this. Already I have liquid water, which is okay. Then I'm going to go to the solids. Right. So I'm going to look for aluminum oxide, see if it's there. Right. If I look here, these are the only aluminum compounds I have, these two. Right, which means that my component library here, it doesn't have aluminum oxide. So what am I going to do? I'm going to create the compound aluminum oxide. Right, so on this solid, if you come here, let's create compound. I'm going to click create compound. Right, and it's going to ask me for a name. So for the name, I'm going to say L2 or 3. Right, so when you are creating a compound, initially it has default properties. Right, these default properties are for water, which means the heat capacity, the density, the heat of formation, the viscosity, the different properties for water. If it's default, you can change to different to any other compound you want if it's available, but in this case the default is usually water. So if you just create and leave it like this compound will behave just like water. Right, but for now I want to create for different streams, so it will give me these different options where either you can set default molecular weight, which is the same for water. You can set the molecular formula, you can set the molecular weight, and then you choose which categories you want it to be. So in this case, the aluminum oxide we want is going only to be in the solids already. The suspended solid is ticked, so it will then ask you which other category you want it to be. But for now, let's leave it as suspended solid, and we are going to set the molecular formula. Right, the molecular formula Al2 or 3. right? So once I set them on location,